You don't know when you're being advertised to because ads don't look like ads anymore. A story time, a prank, a recommendation from someone who feels real. The divide between entertainment and advertisement is basically gone. But to understand how we got here, we have to start with there used to exist an agreement between you and the television. You could watch TV, but only if you're also willing to watch the ads. A half-hour TV slot meant a 22-minute episode with around 8 minutes of ads. But these ads were built into the structure of the TV show. Music would swell, tension would build. We could tell when an ad was coming. And they even had a name for it, the commercial break. Calling it a break made it seem almost positive. A break signifies a time of rest, and for a commercial break, it meant a time to grab a snack, clean your room, whatever you needed to do, and you could do it without having to miss anything. And this made commercial breaks a lot more tolerable back then. They're predictable, and we knew that we would have a set amount of time to do whatever we needed to do. Because viewers were essentially held captive to watch every commercial in its entirety, advertisers had a real problem to solve. They had to make us feel like we actually wanted to watch these commercials. They had to make them entertaining and memorable so that we would remember their brand in a positive way. And that's where the jingle came in.
The best part of waking up is folded.
Nationwide is on your side.
800-588-2300.
I remember all of these commercials as clear as day from when I was growing up. Yes, I was being advertised to, but I also just liked these commercials. Jingles made watching TV actually pretty fun. It's not all the time that you would be able to sing along with a commercial, but these jingles allow the opportunity for us to do that. And commercials even had characters like Flo from Progressive or the Geico Lizard. We would talk about these commercials with our friends, we would sing these songs randomly. Companies actually put in effort to the commercials that they would make, and they had an actual impact on us as a society and still give us nostalgia today. I used to look forward more to Super Bowl ads than the actual Super Bowl itself, and that alone is strange, looking forward to watching commercials. But the fact that I could ever be excited at all over watching an ad says something important. Advertisers used to put our enjoyment first. They assumed our attention was valuable and finite, but that era did not survive. Today, only about 30% of US households even have cable anymore, down from about 80% just a decade ago. And with that, the agreement changed. We no longer were viewers. We became hostages. YouTube ads are fundamentally distinct from how we consume ads on television or even on most streaming platforms. Unlike TV, ads on YouTube are not built into the structure of content. Ads can start at any point throughout an entire YouTube video. They can start right now while I'm talking mid-sentence. Ads on YouTube are first and foremost interruptions. They hold our videos hostage. But YouTube gives us a choice, at least the illusion of one. We have the skip button. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't. But even when it does, we still have to wait 5 seconds. 5 excruciatingly long seconds. And this skip button has fundamentally changed how we experience ads. On television, ads were inevitable. We had to tolerate them, we had to sit through them. But on YouTube, we hope that this skip button appears so that we can resist ads. And when it doesn't, ads are only interruptions. We watch them as the act of impatience. The experience on YouTube has retrained us to resent advertising rather than just tolerate it and sit through it. We hope that that skip button appears. We're actively waiting for it to appear. Around this same time, streaming services were rising, and they took 2 very different approaches. Hulu has always been very much adjacent to a television as it has been in the past. All the ads appear at the same exact time as they would appear on television. And this made sense because Hulu has always had all the latest episodes right after they aired. It's basically an extension of cable. Netflix was ad-free. They wanted us to be able to experience as much as possible without having to experience ads. And this changed our thought process. We had previously thought that any TV show we watch, we would have to watch ads, but Netflix taught that this was no longer the case. For years, Netflix dominated streaming and taught us that entertainment without interruption was actually possible, especially when you're paying a subscription fee. So when other platforms began appearing with ads, something felt wrong. We had come to expect streaming to be ad-free. And on top of this, ads on these platforms are way worse. Some platforms show markers where there be ads, but others don't. And on all platforms, you never know how long the ad break will be. It could be 1 ad or 3 ads. It could be 30 seconds or 5 minutes. We never can tell until the ad break actually starts. It's way less predictable than television ads ever were. Then there's repetition. An algorithm now can play the same ad back to back because it doesn't really account for if we've seen it before. I've had times where the same ad plays back to back or just one ad in between, then the same ad again. You just watch the same ads over and over, really. And this is where YouTube kind of made the whole problem way worse. On YouTube, advertisers can either pay for unskippable ads, where they pay per impression, or skippable ads, which are really interesting. For skippable ads, advertisers only have to pay if you either click on the ad or watch the ad to a certain amount of time. So even if you have to watch the same ad over and over again, as long as you hit that skip button every single time, it costs them nothing. So nowadays, ads don't need to succeed to tell a story. They just need to exist and put their ad in your face as many times as they can, because eventually you will remember. They depend on repetition more than anything. And when ads can't force attention anymore, they have to disguise themselves. Because people hate ads, companies are now forced to make a decision. They could either keep on posting ads and hope that maybe we engage with them, or they could start to try to blend in with us on social media. And many companies chose that second option. Brands have started to act like creators. Duolingo is the first obvious example, and they're kind of the biggest example of this.
You have got to understand that there are consequences to your actions.
You are like Papa!
They've done a really good job of creating quality content that other companies have actually tried to copy and follow suit. Brita is another company that creates really original videos of this guy in a shark costume with original songs.
I called my mom just to silently cry. My ex started seeing 9 other guys, but I'm hydrated. Yeah.
I like to watch them for fun. They're really funny and entertaining and catchy. And I recommend you watch them. And these accounts don't feel like ads because they aren't structured like ads at all. They post memes, they comment on other accounts, they develop personalities. And they basically have to do this because on social media, if we don't like something we see, we will just scroll. So they have to create actual good content that engages us. Because if they just try to shove their company logo in our face, we will just scroll. Brands have to adapt, but some ads go one step further. This is the Trojan horse ad. We now live in a world where any video that you watch might be a subtle ad for some company. You've probably seen them, especially for gambling apps.
Orange County.
Orange County?
Yeah.
Like Anaheim area or where?
Like Dana Point area.
I just put 40 on
Videos
stake.
that
We're
pretend to
playing
be dates,
Minecraft.
pranks, or standing in line. They randomly just pull out their phone, and there it is, stake on their phone, casually integrating gambling into everyday life. It's weird and unnatural because it doesn't really make sense to gamble your money to hopefully make enough to get a Chipotle burrito. It's risky, but it's gotta bring in at least some people, or else they wouldn't pay as many people to advertise for them as they do. But at least these people are semi-real people. Stake just pays them to play stake in the middle of their videos. But then there's Kelly. Kelly is constantly being cheated on. She finds jewelry that isn't hers. She finds a random purse in her boyfriend's car. She gave birth and then finds out her husband was cheating on her. Luckily, she always has Cheater Buster. But really, if you haven't been able to tell, Kelly doesn't exist. Cheater Buster is at the end of every single one of her videos. And the same man appears in every one of her videos, being called either boyfriend or husband. So if she somehow isn't lying to us, she at least has this weird toxic relationship with this guy that should be concerning to us. Her entire page is a lie, but for some reason she has over 9,000 followers. And people genuinely seem to think that all these situations that she seems to get in are actually real. Oh honey, take a screenshot of the necklace and the Tinder and confront. He just yelled at you? No way, dump him. People really only see her one time, and they believe her stories. Because this type of marketing really exploits the one thing that we crave most online: authenticity. Maybe we feel bad for her, maybe we relate to her, Maybe we relate to having these same gut feelings that she says she has in this video and decide we need to get Cheater Buster for ourselves. We might not realize that we're being marketed to. And Cheater Buster has tons of these accounts. I was scrolling TikTok the other day and I found Tyler CP1.
I think we've been going out with the same girl.
What are you talking about? Is this a prank call right now?
No.
And one of the comments on one of his videos said, "Moral of the story, normalize checking with Cheater Buster." And this account was also a Cheater Buster account, and Tyler was a Cheater Buster account. There's tons of these false marketed accounts that pretend to be us on social media. And that's one of the biggest issues with this type of marketing. We sometimes go online to search for answers, and we might think that we're getting real authentic scenarios. It isn't our first instinct to check if everything we see is some ad. It's manipulative. And if everything on social media begins to be muddled with hidden ads under what we hope is authentic, where does that leave us? Anytime I see a video mention a specific product, I can't help but wonder if it's actually authentic. Were they paid to say that? The answer to that question used to be pretty obvious. Jake from State Farm is a product of State Farm built to get you to buy State Farm insurance. Sure, he has social media, but it's very easy to tell from either his username or all of his State Farm merch that he wears in every video. It's not hidden, it's very easy to tell that he's a persona built by State Farm. But what happens when the salesperson looks like a friend? A student, someone just like you. If I made a video about how much I love playing Fortnite, would you assume that I meant it or that I was sponsored? Probably the first, and that's the real issue. Social media was originally created to help us connect with each other. We want to be able to trust random strangers online. We want to be able to trust what we see. Trojan horse ads exploit trust in a space built on authenticity. At least with traditional ads, we knew when we were being marketed to. We still watch the same amount of ads, if not even more ads than ever before. But the main difference is we can't really tell when someone is actually being paid behind the scenes. In a perfect world, all platforms would label all this stuff very clearly. But we do not live in a perfect world. All I can tell you is to actually pay attention to what you see online. Be a little bit skeptical. Whether it's companies or a seemingly normal person trying to pretend not to be a corporate mole, a lot of the content that we see online is trying to get us to buy something. But also enjoy what's genuinely good. Laugh at Duolingo. Watch the British Shark videos, please. And support your favorite creators. There's plenty of great content out there. Just remember, if something feels perfectly tailored to sell you something, it probably is. Let me know what you think about all the different types of ads we see in the comments down below. And leave a like and subscribe maybe and watch yo baby. What does that even mean? I said it when I was like 8 on a YouTube video and then I keep on saying it. I don't know why. Anyways, bye. I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone who watched all my videos last year, and I hope to post a lot this year too. So yeah,